I think it's time. I want to start this book. So we're gonna do it together. I have my pen. Let's do it. I didn't think it was gonna go that way. And it makes me think that I know what's gonna happen. I don't know. I'm a little bit nervous. No, I'm okay. I'll stop the book there. It can't be. It cannot be. And I better not cry. I'm so confused. I'm so confused. First chapter done. I am already getting like that Jessa writing. I feel it just within the first chapter. So I'm excited to see how it goes, and I'm already kind of getting a good idea of our main character, how she'll play out throughout the book. So that's exciting. Hello. It is the evening, almost 10 o'clock, and I'm only on chapter 6. I was unable to concentrate because I was in so much pain for, I would say, at least an hour and a half-ish. So I'm only on chapter 6, but I did want to point out that I was very confused by her dedication, because in the book it says, "For all my fellow adjectives, keep modifying those nouns." And I was so confused until you kind of get introduced to her siblings. And I also wanted to point out that I love the bond that Georgia and her brother Ali have. I just find that so wholesome and sweet, and I really appreciate that. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm just gonna read a little bit more. I am actually really liking Georgia. I was unsure how I was going to feel going into this book, just because Daisy Hates and Magnolia Parks hold such like a high pedestal that I was a little nervous going into this book, but I'm really enjoying Georgia. I'm kind of just now introduced to Savannah, Clay's girlfriend, and I really like her. Ali, obviously love him, and then I also love how Sam is kind of like reading Georgia, how she reads everyone else. I do find that very interesting, and I really like that. So just a few things I wanted to point out character-wise, and I'm very curious to know what happened that sent Georgia away. I know like the basis of it, obviously, but there's more to it. I know it. So I'm only on page 86, so I'm just gonna keep reading. Again, that attention span, kind of like focusing, has been really hard with my mouth, but I had to call off work tomorrow because I'm going to the doctor's to hopefully figure out everything that's going on. We'll see. I can only do what I can do. And even just like this conversation right here, agony. So goodbye. I'm hoping the camera will stay right there in my car. I've just been sitting. The answer was no. I am really enjoying this book. Like really enjoying it. It's beautiful outside, first of all. That's why I'm sitting in my car. Our back table like shattered last summer. I think Jessa is portraying this family amazing. Like, just the characters are so interesting to me. You get the family right off the bat, and I really enjoy that. I did get to the part where they explained kind of what led her to moving away a while back. Now we're kind of just seeing the dynamic, and I'm interested to see how it goes. I love Jessa's writing. It is one of my favorite things about reading her books. The way she puts a sentence together, and sometimes it's like a really long sentence, it's like a run-on sentence, but the way she strings the words together to form a thought or like a picture is absolutely mind-blowing to me. I love it. Absolutely love it. I just want to point that out. What is going on out here? Why is it snowing? It's literally April 9th and it's snowing right now. More than halfway done. Let's finish it. It's getting crazy. I love Tenny's redemption arc-esque part of this book so much because he honestly treated Georgia so terribly, and now he's kind of realized that, and he's realized that not everything he was told was true, and I love that for him. They're so funny together. He is like taking the blame for things that he doesn't need to. Like, there's no reason that he needs to, but he does it anyway to protect Georgia. And I love him for that. And Savannah, love that too. We are gonna take a little intermission of reading because look at what package I just received. This book came out, I think, yesterday, but mine did not come in. I actually pre-ordered it last year. Mine did not come in until today, and I have a little story with that. It's a chunky book. Let's look. So it's Fearless by Lauren Roberts. It is the third book in the Powerless series, and I'm so unbelievably excited. Now, my little story is that this morning I was just scrolling, you know, doom scrolling on Instagram a little bit this morning before my appointment, and I saw something, and I just had that feeling like if I don't get it, I'm going to regret it. And that is Waterstones has an edition. Okay, so looks about the same, except under the dust jacket, it is a pink hardback, has the pink map in it. And then on the back of it, it's foiled and says Forever My Undoing. So yeah, I bought it. I don't even regret it, honestly, because I did not get any of like the special editions, I don't think. We finally got Fearless, and I think after this book I will definitely be going into it because that is the most recent release, other than Enchantra. That one came out as well, and I just have not picked that one up yet, but I'm kind of on like a book buying ban right now. Because I did already pre-order the Emily Henry book that's coming out this month, so I'm trying not to buy too many books right now. But anyway, let's keep reading our book and finish it. I am on page 310. I finished The Conditions of Will last night. I actually could not put it down. I read a lot yesterday. I want to say I probably read about like 250 pages of this. I was hooked. I ended up staying up until like 11:30ish and finished it and then went to bed. I loved it. 4.5 stars for this book. I missed Jessa Hastings' writing so much, and I didn't know how much I missed it until I went into this book and the topics that were discussed in here. I would recommend maybe looking at some trigger warnings because there's none in the front, like few pages or anything, but I definitely think that this book maybe should have some trigger warnings just with some of the topics that they discuss, especially what Georgia goes through. It's a pretty big thing in this book, so it's talked about quite a few times and a lot. So I would look up the trigger warnings, that along with like it talks about alcoholism and addiction and those kind of things. But anyway, I just adored it. I found so many amazing little things to kind of highlight, underline, whether it was like little comments that she made or just the way that Jessa kind of put the sentence together, like very visually and beautifully. I would give it 4.5 stars. I couldn't even put it down. I feel like the first little bit was a little difficult for me to get into, but only because I've been reading a lot of romance and this is not a romance book. Even though I feel like the romance is a main part of this, it's really not the main focus. Does that make sense? I do have a really exciting one that I'm starting, which is Fearless. So I'm gonna start this by Lauren Roberts. It is 1 o'clock. We're gonna read now that I have a lot of that handled. I'm excited. Hello. It is a new day, and I was in excruciating pain last night, so I'm still feeling kind of that after effect from it. I'm not going to do a ton of talking right now, but I just wanted to give a little update. I am about 28% of the way through Fearless. I don't have the dust jacket on right now. 28% of the way through. I'm on chapter 21, and it's kind of getting crazy. I don't want to talk too much just because I don't want to spoil anything. I definitely got to the new point of view. I don't want this to be like a yapping vlog, so I got to the part where we saw a new point of view. I don't know if it's just because I talk about it or I saw one thing and reacted, but now my entire Instagram feed is Fearless videos and reactions, and I'm just waiting for it to kind of like shock me or get to the part where I'm like, oh, this is what everyone's talking about. But so far, it's fine. It's not like I'm dying over it. I actually do think that some of it's kind of hard for me to get into. Some of it is just like, it was dragging a little bit for me in my opinion. It was like really quick, like first I would say 40 pages and then it kind of slowed down and then it kind of picked up. So we'll see, but that's where I'm at right now.
Goodness.
I said I was reading.
I'm sorry.
Johnny. Gonna go that way. Chapter 30. I am 42% of the way through this book, and things just went crazy in that chapter, okay? I did not see it going that way. I actually was hoping, it's almost like, this won't spoil anything, it's just like an analogy I'm using, but it's almost like when an author is going to kill off a character and then they just come back to life, or they just end up being saved. And that's where I was hoping that this would go bad and then continue to stay bad, because I feel like it adds a lot to the story and it kind of hooks you a little bit more into like continue reading. Like, I just want to read the next chapter. I want to know what's gonna happen. And so 42% of the way through. I will say for me, it's been a little bit slow towards the beginning, more so than I thought it was going to be. It is such a chunky book. It is huge. I feel like every single person I have heard about reading this book has said that they didn't realize how thick the book was going to be. And it makes sense. It's the last of the trilogy, and it's kind of like the ending, which I feel like, how is it the ending? Like, I don't know, but I am kind of glad, again, it's not like one of those instances where it was gonna be a trilogy and then they just like pushed the series, aka Fourth Wing. I'm glad that the author has took this story and has stuck to it since the beginning. I really like that. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out because obviously my reaction went absolutely nuts, and I was a little worried that it was just gonna be like a oh, this is gonna happen, never mind. Oh, I realized too, I tabbed something that I wanted to bring up last night when I was reading. I love how she included the fact that Peyton has these like fears or anxiety. Like, she is so claustrophobic, and she points that out in many scenes in this book so far, at least in the like almost half that I've read. She has brought that up at least 2 times, and I love that because it makes the character more real and relatable versus someone who just, it's kind of like, oh, it's just a character, like she's just going through the scene, this is what's going on. She gives them feelings and a personality, and I love that because she's always bringing up these things that kind of affect Peyton. It almost adds to her struggle. It's not just like she's having a really hard time, she's hardly surviving. No, it's like she's hardly surviving and she has this claustrophobia fear. And so I really do enjoy that. So I did tab that for a little mention. I have underlined a few kind of phrases, I'd say quotes, whether it's Kai saying it or just the author kind of describing something, but so far it's good. I'm interested to see now that things are going kind of crazy. I want to know what happens. I have a theory. I feel like I know. I just don't know how it would end if my theory is right. I have a theory just from like foreshadowing. I feel like some of these things that are being said is leading me to that ending. I don't know, but I'm still reading. I'm in the middle of a chapter actually. I feel like I've been having a hard time reading. Not that I'm in like a slump, but I feel like I can't keep my attention. I don't know why. It's like I'll read a chapter or 2 and then I put it down and pick up my phone, and then I read a chapter or 2 and then I put it down and pick up my, like, I just wish I could binge it, and I'm just not binging it. I'm in the middle of a chapter, but I just wanted to come on here and say that I have a theory. I'm not going to say what, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but that is my thought. I haven't thought about the rating, but now I'm a little worried. It doesn't matter. Let's go. It was time for a t-shirt because it is so warm outside, and when I say warm, it's like 55 degrees, but it's so hot, so I changed, and of course I'm still reading. I just don't want my battery to get overheated, so that's why I'm not filming. Not really any new thoughts. I'm definitely more than halfway through the book. I'd say about 58% maybe, and still sitting in my car. I'm about to leave though to go to Barnes with my sister just to see some new releases and stuff, kind of the update. I don't have too many thoughts that aren't spoilers, so I'm on chapter 40. I'm over halfway, and I'm gonna be honest, I would really like to finish this book today. I'm on 340 and there are 590, so about 600 pages. I'm gonna try to finish it today. It's 12:30, we'll see how much I get done, but this book is kind of taking me longer than I would have hoped, but I think it's just because it's a chunky book. I'm trying to take it kind of chapter by chapter, day by day. Now, a part of that is I'm just not hooked as much as I wish I was, and maybe that's just because I have so much going on, so. Stuff just went down. Things that I did not even think that were going to happen happened. Also, without saying something, there's a certain character who's acting really weird, and it's very confusing, and it's not the normal, so I don't know what's going on with that. I have a theory but that would then change my other theory that I had previously. It's really weird, and it makes me think that I know what's gonna happen. I don't know. I don't know. I'm a little bit nervous because until this last chapter, I kind of forgot this character was acting a little bit off, like lately in the last like few chapters. This chapter just, you know, rang the bell in my head like, oh yeah, what's going on there? Things are happening. Let's go. I really, really, really love Lenny. I really like him. I do. Have you guys ever been reading and you literally have to like put your hand over the end because I am so tempted to like skim down and know what happens? I feel like this is gonna be absolutely brutal. It can't be. It cannot be. And I better not cry. No. No. No, I'm okay. I'll stop the book there. What am I to do? What am I to, obviously. Oh my gosh. My nephew left a dolphin on the floor and I literally thought it was an animal. And then I was like, what is that? What am I to do? Obviously, there's this much more left in the book, okay? I'm unwell. I'm unwell. I don't want to cry. I don't want to cry. I'm gonna cry. I don't want to cry. I'm kind of torn because I'm on one side, I want it to be as heartbreaking as I feel like it's gonna be, but I also feel like it might just be one of those times where you think something's gonna happen and then it doesn't, and so I just don't know. That's kind of where I'm at right now, but keep in mind I'm only like the first of the next chapter after what just happened, so. I was interrupted at the worst time. I had to go get groceries for my mom, so I brought the book in the car with me. I started tearing up, so I had to put the book down because I was like, I cannot be tearing up while waiting for my groceries to come out. Like, imagine me just like, and they come over and like ask if this is for me, you know what I mean? So put it down, picked it back up after like, I was there for, I'm not kidding, an hour waiting like on the groceries. So put it down for a little bit, picked it back up, kept reading, and then they came out, so I had to put the book down again. I'm in the middle of a chapter. I need to know because my heart cannot take it. I am mind blown and I'm interested to see where it's gonna go. I'm a little confused, but I don't want to take that as everything's okay, because how is this here when that character is there? It's a joke. This is funny. Are you kidding me? I'm so confused. I'm so confused. What? Back on the floor, back to being very, very confused. I don't know how to feel. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about anything that's gone on since my jaw dropped, basically, like 5-6 chapters ago. I don't know. I don't know. I'm confused. That's where I'm at, okay? Talk to you in a little bit. Hold on. I still have my other theory as well. Not that my other one was wrong, but this other theory, am I being really confusing? I still have that theory, which would kind of make sense. Oh, I think I'm getting a headache. Oh my goodness. Full body. Oh, why am I gonna cry? Full body chills right now. One 5-word sentence. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna cry. My goodness. How am I supposed to get through this right now? How? This much because of this, you know, like this specific instance or scene. If you would have asked me 2 hours ago, I would be like, oh, you know, sad, but I'm shaking. Wait, because why did I forget about something that I'm 99% sure is correct, and it would change the whole trajectory, the whole entire story, if it's true? How? What? How is that gonna go? Well, I'm about to find out, so I'll let you know. Now, my thought theory was correct, but there was another plot twist that I did not think of. I don't know if like it would have kind of alluded to that earlier in the book and I just missed it, or it was just something I was never gonna guess. But what? The truth always comes out, and I feel like I need to mention that I feel like one certain aspect of this book, it was such like a climactic moment, and then it just ended so fast. And I understand, like, a part of me is like, oh, it's kind of dragging on, but then it's like, oh, it's kind of like rushing through. But I get that, like, the pacing makes sense. Just have that feeling of like, is it going too fast? Is it going too slow? Like I can't tell at the moment. I'm on page 487. I have about 100 pages left. I really want to finish this tonight. It's currently 5:20. So I think I can do that. I don't know how long it takes me to read 100 pages, but we're about to find out. I'm on my phone because I'm upstairs and I just finished Fearless. I felt every emotion reading this book, genuinely. Heart racing, I cried, I was a little annoyed, it was slow, it was fast. Literally every single thing was in this book for me, and I guessed some of it, but there were plot twists after plot twists that I just missed, or maybe after the fact I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I just, I kind of brushed over that. Overall, I am satisfied with the ending. I feel like there are some things that I probably would have changed, or maybe I would have, because the book's already long enough. I wouldn't say like I would make some parts a little bit longer, but maybe I'd take out a few pages here, add a few pages there, that kind of thing. I'm not disappointed. This might be one that I have to sit on, unfortunately, just because I really do have to take into account the entire book. I feel like sometimes it's easy to just think of, okay, well, what I read today, that was amazing. Okay, but what about the other half of the book? I'll come back and talk about both books and we'll see where we're at. I feel like this video might be very long and I apologize, but I will see you when I feel ready and I've collected my thoughts. And let's end out this video by talking about the two books that I read for the new releases. The first one I read and loved was The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings. I feel like I read this a year ago. I don't know why, but I loved it. I absolutely loved it. There were certain quotes in here that I absolutely loved. Here's like one of my favorite quotes actually. I think there's something romantic and poetic about how the light creeps up on the darkness that's buried the horizon and blasts it away all gentle and blushy pink. Like the way she writes in order to help you visualize or feel something is my favorite thing that Jessa does. Another really good quote is, it was this almost otherworldly feeling where you're so small, but not in a way that's degrading or upsetting, but the fact that you're on the planet at the same time as something so big and so significant. I don't know. It was strangely life-admiring, like you're not alone in the world. And I get that same feeling when I'm near Sam Penny. And I just love how she writes, her illustrations that she like paints in my head. I love it. So this book ended up being a 4.5 stars for me. Highly recommend. Everything is just so intriguing to me. The job that Georgia does, I feel like plays such an important role in this book that I think is just phenomenal. And I genuinely think it would be so interesting to have that job and to be able to read people just by their facial expressions or how they're holding themselves or little things they might do to their face. I'm glad I got to read about it in this book. Obviously, a lot of deep things happened in this book, and some things, again, I would look up on trigger warnings, but overall, it was a phenomenal book, and I think it was an amazing way to go from Magnolia Parks to something else, because I feel like that's what Jessa's known for, is her Magnolia Parks, Daisy Hates kind of world. I know that she also did Never. I didn't read that one, but I didn't hear the best things about it. So this was really good. Cover, stunning. Of course, the last book was Fearless by Lauren Roberts. I finished this an hour or so ago. I feel like this book was so beautiful with how it ended the trilogy. I was very anxious going into this because I knew it was the last book, and I just think to myself, like, how can a world like that be over? But at the same time, I'm glad that it was as long as it was. Like I said, getting into it, I wasn't that hooked. I was very much reading it chapter by chapter, and I wasn't really sitting down and reading a big amount of the book at once, which I both don't like, but I also like that I did that because I didn't want it to put me in a slump of any sort. And it's not to say that that first part of the book was bad. I think I was reading a lot of romance before this. I read a lot of fiction, so going into this one, it was a big difference, and obviously it's a lot more brain power to understand the world and what's going on and everything like that. So first part of this book, a little bit slow. Not to say it was bad. Once we hit halfway, it was definitely going a lot quicker, and then that last 200, 300 pages, I couldn't put it down. There was action after action, high stakes, fighting, just every emotion I can think of I felt in the last 300 pages. And so I'm so happy with how it ended. I do feel like the ending was a little rushed. I'm appreciative that we got to see inside other characters via just information of sorts. I think that was very much needed, and she gave us that. I'm so glad I got to see into some of those characters that you normally would just like brush over or forget about. She didn't let you do that, and I think it was paced pretty good at the end because she answered all the questions I had personally. I felt like if she would have ended it after a really big thing that happened, I would have had so many questions that I would have been disappointed. But because she kept those last 150 pages in, it answered everything I wanted to know, and I really appreciated that. This was fun. This whole trilogy, I know Powerless was amazing. Reckless fell a little flat, but this brought it back, I feel like, for me, even though it's big. It's big, but that's okay. It needs to be because it's the ending of a series. I feel like if it wasn't the ending of a series, I might be like, okay, we could have like took out a few parts, and sure, there's a few scenes that I was like, okay, I'm not really that interested. But when I think back to everything that happened, I'm mind blown that it was all put into this book. And then at the end, with how things ended, I was looking back on scenes and I was like, wow, how did I not see it? How did all of this happen? And it all came together in the end, and I loved that. With that being said, I think for right now, I am going to rate this 4.25 stars. I'm tempted to give it 4.5. It's not a 5, but it's very close to that with how this book made me feel, genuinely. I feel like it can go either way. Some people might have hated it. Some people might have loved it. I feel like I was definitely in that spot where I liked it way more than I didn't, for sure. Again, I'm gonna sit on that. That's kind of what I'm gonna leave it at today, is 4.25. If you wanna look at my Goodreads, it'll say for sure what I kind of landed on, but that was Fearless. These were the 2 new releases that I read. I will say in my last reading vlog, I did read Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez, which was another new release. So if you do want more videos like this where I'm kind of taking you through each read, not really spoiling anything, but giving you an insight on my feelings and what the book did to me, if you enjoy that, let me know, and I can always do that again. There's so many new releases coming out. Thank you guys so much for watching though, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for sticking to the end with me. I hope that I will see you in my next video. Bye.